Chase, we're live. All right. How's everyone doing? Oh my gosh, Chase just left.
Are we live right now?
Yeah.
Let's get it.
All right.
What's going on, everyone?
How's everyone doing?
I'm doing great, Ben. How are you?
I'm good. Chase is going to come back in here in a second. But we're going to get started. We hope everyone's having a great day on the East Coast here. We got a bunch of snow. So.
Oh yeah, it's been a lot of snow. It feels like wintertime. I'm in for it. I don't know. I've been tired of the hot summers and all the heat waves that have come and gone. So I've been thriving. Working from home's nice on days like today. So
yeah, it's nice to have cold weather and snow and not just cold weather and nothing.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Big fan of that.
But
all right. Well, we're gonna get into it and kind of just go over what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
And then once Chase comes back in, we'll kind of get started. But just to kind of start it off, wrap up some college football because we had, a crazy weekend and just kind of a crazy time. Chase is back in. Welcome, Chase.
Yeah, we're back.
So I'm just going over what we're going to talk about. So we're just going to wrap up some college football, NFL wild card, a lot to talk about there. Just a crazy weekend in general, crazy week of football. Some 76ers and Flyers updates. I think we got some Philly sports to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
And then some sports history on this day facts from Ryan.
Courtesy
of you.
I've been vibing on it. So, I just found a couple of weird things that happened on January 16th. We can go through a couple.
All right. And then just a couple of random baseball stats I think are fun. And then we'll probably end with our classic Immaculate Grid.
So. Oh, I love doing the Immaculate Grid with everyone. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So welcome, Chase. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys? Sorry for the technical difficulties.
No, that's okay. We figured you were coming back on anyway. So for those watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. We're trying to go live on Instagram as well. So we'll see if that worked properly. But if it didn't, that's okay. We're still live on YouTube either way. So
excited. First live show of 2024.
Yeah. So first up, I think we'll just talk about before we get into college football, I guess. If you have us on Instagram, be sure to, if you don't have us on Instagram, AFR Show Pod, be sure to follow. We've been posting some reels. One gained some traction, so we were excited about that. And we got some awesome comments. So we really appreciate everyone for commenting. Me and Chase as 14-year-old emo girls are really excited to hear everything you guys have to say. So there was a lot of good constructive criticism and a lot of good comments. So we appreciate all the feedback, no matter if it is positive or negative. So thanks for watching, and we'll be posting more throughout the week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
College football. So Michigan got the win. I think once that matchup became set, everyone wasn't surprised at kind of the reality of that and how the game went. But now the storylines after it are more of, is Harbaugh going to be in the NFL? Where's a quarterback situation? Who's declaring all that stuff? So I want to get kind of your guys' take on what you think is going to happen. First of all, with Harbaugh, do you think there's a specific job that is attracted to him that he might go for now that there's a bunch of other coaches potentially available? And quarterback wise, is there anyone that stands out for you guys here in this draft?
Yeah. I'll let you go first.
Yeah. Okay. Number one, Harbaugh. Definitely, I think we'll end up in the NFL. There's too many good, attractive jobs open. And I think it was too uncertain his future with Michigan right now, especially any pending action against him if he's going to be suspended and how long that's going to be for. So just makes sense for him to make the jump now with there being at least decent jobs opening. Number two, the quarterbacks. This is tough. 2 years ago, I would have said Caleb Williams, no doubt, but he seems like a diva and he wants part of ownership and he just wants all these crazy demands and he didn't play that well. And I get that USC was not a great team this year, but overall, I don't really feel it. And past that, I think it's going to be a lot of guys who have to sort things out. Like you have to really go through and look at the tape and see what they bring. Who could make the throws outside the numbers? Who makes good decisions? Obviously, Penix had the hype all year. Jaden Daniels out of LSU had a lot of hype. Obviously, winning the Heisman, kind of coming out of nowhere for some people. But yeah, I think there's a lot of good prospects and maybe people over the next 3 months are going to get to know these guys very intimately.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you hit the head with all the QBs. Just circling back to Jim Harbaugh, does he want to be in the NFL? I guess is like a question I have because he was coaching the 49ers, obviously took them to the Super Bowl about, what is that, 10, 11 years ago. And I don't know. I just feel like there's not a lot of coaches that flip back and forth. So I guess my question is like, he left the NFL for college and he thrived in there. Obviously, ran into some off the field issues this past season, which could redirect him to the NFL. But I don't know. I don't even know if is he good enough to be an NFL coach full time. I just don't. I'm just trying to understand the jump back and forth because we don't always see that a lot. So I'm confused. Like if he does go back, is it one of those things where he's just going to go back for a little bit and then go back to college? Always been more of a John Harbaugh fan, Chase, versus Jim. So, but
Well, I have a hypothetical for you. Let's say Friday, you get a notification on your phone. Mike McCarthy gets the paddle and he's out. Now, Saturday morning, you wake up and you get the news that Jim Harbaugh might have an interview with the Cowboys. How's that make you feel?
oh, I don't think I want Jim Harbaugh. I know that we're gonna get into it, and there's plenty of speculation. Bill Belichick's name's already been thrown around. I don't know. I feel like I would. Not a huge Mike McCarthy fan, but I still think I prefer him over Jim Harbaugh. That's just off first initial take. So wouldn't be super thrilled to answer your question.
No, it's not a needle mover for you.
No.
Yeah, I would say the same for me, but I think there's too many attractive jobs with teams that already have good quarterbacks, specifically the Chargers. If he went there, it's a team that already has weapons, needs a little retooling, but obviously he's going to have control. He could probably make this a power move too and grab up some decision-making authority. And if he's able to do that, obviously you'd have to think he's going to tap into some of those Michigan players that he has and bring some of those guys with him, but I think he's going to do this. He's going to make the jump to the NFL. I think there's too much uncertainty, and I don't know why Michigan would want to keep that over their head. And it's a good place to end it. You won the championship. You can leave the door, and no one's offended.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's probably itching to come back. I mean, he had a pretty successful run for the most part with the 49ers. And then he got a great job for Michigan. But I think just everything that happened this year, especially with, the scandals and, whether they cheated or not cheated with some of the scouting and all that stuff, I think all of it's just leading for him to go to the NFL. McCarthy's also going to the NFL. So it just makes sense. And, there's a lot of attractive jobs, like you said, out there. So we'll see where he goes. I just wanted to touch on what you said, Chase, with Caleb Williams. I actually, in my notes, had that he's a diva and wanted to talk about it. So I'm happy that you actually said that too. First of all, he is not someone that I would want to start my franchise around. No matter how much raw talent he has, he just does not seem like a team player. Outside of the high school level and being talented, he really hasn't ever won anything for as hype as he's been. So I would rather have someone with less skill set and more of a, someone who's not going to put themselves above the rest of their team. So Caleb Williams to me would not be a quarterback I would draft. Like if I'm the Bears, I'm 100% sticking with Justin Fields over Caleb Williams and trading that first pick.
I second that.
Yeah. And it's not like if Bo Nix was saying all this or Michael Penix, like guys who were in the Heisman discussion over the last 2 years and really cemented that this year, I could see, I'd probably say the same thing, but, at least they have something to prove to it. It's like Caleb Williams. I'm like, you didn't do anything this past year. It was pretty brutal out there. I mean, the teams you were supposed to beat up on, you could, but the Pac-12 was a decent league this year. So I think he thought leaving Oklahoma, he could go in there, dominate, get a bunch of good NIL money. But I don't think overall it really worked out to the best of his degree. Also, real quick, back to Jim Harbaugh. If this would be underrated move, but I could see this happening in a weird dimension. He goes to the Seahawks and obviously just drafts JJ McCarthy somewhere in there. gets like Roman Wilson, also maybe a few defensive starters that he had, but the Seahawks would be a sneaky place for him to end up. Plus, he gets a revenge game against the 49ers all the time.
I could see it. I feel like a lot of Seattle fans want Penix because he's from Washington and kind of from the area too.
Right.
But
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, the Seahawks, Geno Smith, he's been nice, but what's the future there? Is it Drew Lock,
Right.
or are you going to take advantage of getting a quarterback?
Definitely not Drew Lock.
Yeah, I don't know how
No.
Drew Lock on this podcast.
And it makes sense with J.J. McCarthy because those other guys are probably going to go pretty early. Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, they could all pretty much go. J.J. McCarthy may not go as high, so the Seahawks might not have to move up. They could probably just stay where they're at or maybe move up 2 or 3 spots instead of trying to get into the top 10, which I don't think you're going to need to with this draft.
Yeah. No, agreed. And I mean, on that note, I think, we might as well just roll right into some NFL stuff. We're kind of half talking about some of that anyway. But I guess, first of all, crazy wild card. Brian, do you want to touch on? I mean, first of all, you had some weather related stuff. You had the Bills game getting moved with just a ridiculous amount of snow, and you had a Chiefs game that was the third or fourth coldest game on record. Andy Reid's mustache was freezing over.
Classic. Perfect conditions for them. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot to unpack. There were a lot of blowouts. I think half the games are a blowout. First, I just want to really quick start off by, once again, Philly fans always get a terrible rap. If I watch one more Buffalo Bills games where fans are literally throwing snow at wide receivers trying to catch balls in the end zone, happened twice against the Steelers. It didn't really affect anything, but the fact that it's happening is just insane that you're trying to affect the game in that way. Ridiculous. But I'm kind of riled up because of the Cowboys game and the horrible first half performance the entire team put on. And just, I mean, Lindsay and I handle it differently. My fiance, she's been the diehard Cowboys fan since day one. She's what brought me on board, and I'm not really happy I jumped on board right about now. But
you'd be in the same place either way.
Yeah, I'd be in the same place either way, and we'll touch on the Eagles here in a second. But the Cowboys, what the heck happened? No idea. And all I can say is 60 minutes of horrible defensive plays. I mean, if you just look, if Jordan Love makes some good passes, okay, but he did not win that game. Romeo Doubs, I think, let me pull it up. I think he was 6 for 151. He's never had more receiving yards in a game than that game. Wide open over the middle, at least 3 or 4 of those catches. I mean, Jordan Love can throw a lollipop in there. And then the Musgrave throw, the 38-yard touchdown he had later in the second half, also wide open blown coverage on the Cowboys defense. So just poor defense overall. Offense, first half, I mean, I don't know what Mike McCarthy was calling, honestly. He's the one person on the Cowboys I've kind of bashed a little bit here and there this season. They seem like it was like second or third and long is when they would call their run plays. They were trying to force the ball to CD. They weren't on the same page. I just didn't understand what he was calling in his West Coast offense, and it was just frustrating me. Put Dak in some bad positions to throw some early picks, but overall, just a horrible game. Just honestly, just pissed me off. I still don't believe in the Packers. Matt LaFleur bringing Sean Clifford in with 6 minutes to go in the fourth, up 32, and you somehow let the Cowboys cut the lead in half and then have to put your starters back in. Still think he's a bad coach. I mean, I know some people think otherwise, but the game changer, honestly, for me, besides the Cowboys playing poorly, was Aaron Jones. He torches the Cowboys every time he plays them. He's from Texas. He rakes down there all the time, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, catches it, runs it. I mean, I thought him with the combination of the Cowboys playing bad and bad coaching decisions was what lost him that game. But just, oh my gosh, just the way they lost is horrible. Ran over.
Yeah.
So I guess the question. Oh, you go ahead, Chase.
Yeah, I was going to say, just watching it from an outsider's perspective, obviously it was a tough to watch game. Unless you're a Packers fan or anyone that hates the Cowboys, you probably enjoyed this moment. But I think from the jump, the thing that really did them in was the Packers going down and scoring on that first possession. I feel like that really set the tone. And I don't think the Cowboys necessarily went in thinking that they were smelling themselves or overlooking the Packers, but something felt like they didn't necessarily prepare the correct way this entire week.
Yeah.
And this is just an observation about the defense. And I know that in the beginning of the year, your defense is set up a little bit differently. Obviously, you would hope that Leighton Vander Esch at this point would be playing a bunch of games, and he hasn't been. And a young rookie, Overshown, Demarion Overshown from Texas, a little bit bigger of a body, can lay the hammer. The problem I noticed with the Cowboys consistently was obviously the Aaron Jones thing, but they were doing it with guys who were 200 pounds. Marquise Bell is definitely a nice player, but for being a linebacker, he's wildly undersized. He has no muscle to him. So when you consider the fact that when you just put out 4 defensive linemen and basically a mix of 6 safeties or cornerbacks, and you expect to stop a run game and also cover the pass plays, I think it was a tough position to put those guys in overall. And for the Cowboys, Dan Quinn going into this game was getting a lot of head coaching hype, and that was obviously a performance he didn't want to come out and show. But just a perspective, and actually that linebacker thing I'm going to bring up with all these other teams that lost. I think they're undersized and they're asking their teams to do too much. It was the same thing with the Eagles. Like, they've had very bad linebacking injuries, and they obviously haven't addressed it to the full potential needs. But overall, it seems like there's a big difference in the teams that are built steady up the middle versus the teams that weren't. And I don't think that the Packers necessarily are built like that. They have a nice linebacker, Quay Walker. He's all right. He's a goon. He's a total goon, but he's not the worst linebacker, and he also brings really good size to their defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're making some good points. The Packers, I believe, won the toss and elected to receive, and they went right down the field and scored. And you also make a good point with the linebackers. I'm trying to think just, I mean, you can consider Micah Parsons a linebacker, right? But he lines up as, you know, he can stop the run, he can rush the passer more so or less a smaller defensive end. But yeah, you make a good point. I mean, I'm just trying to think back of recent Cowboys years. I mean, Jalen Smith, he was okay. He came and went. Leighton Vander Esch, injury problems. Sean Lee was there for a while, got older, injury problems. I mean, they've been cycling through. They haven't had a solid guy, let alone 2. We talked about the Ravens, 2 great linebackers. Cowboys haven't had one solid, healthy guy that's been out there for like 3 or 4 straight years. And maybe that's something they need to solidify going forward. I mean, it helps. I mean, Stephon Gilmore wasn't 100%. Obviously, Trayvon Diggs wasn't out there, so your secondary's banged up, but everyone's is. I mean, Jair Alexander was coming into the game with a rolled ankle on the other side. Hate him, by the way. So,
yeah. By the way,
that game. Go ahead.
By the way, CeeDee Lamb and the Alexander matchup, Alexander was definitely shadowing him, felt like a lot in the first few series. But then after that, CeeDee Lamb was definitely not drawing Alexander for a lot of plays, especially at the end of the first half. And I thought that was kind of interesting, and I don't know why the Cowboys didn't. Anytime that Alexander wasn't lined up on him, I would have just run to CeeDee Lamb, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. I'm going to challenge your other corners. Like, obviously, Alexander, he's a top cornerback, but I would challenge every other Packers cornerback at that point. And then I feel like it would open up a little bit more for Ferguson, but yeah, it just felt like they got off to a bad start and then had to consistently throw all the time, and they couldn't get the run game going. And
yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to be the one to ask it. I know your issue isn't with Dak, but here we are. We're 8 years into Dak's being the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
2-5 in the playoffs, 2 wins. He hasn't gotten past pretty much. I think he's got both wins or divisional round wins.
Wild card round.
Yes. He's still your guy.
Yes. 100%.
He's going to be 31 next year. Like, yep. I'm asking you, at what point do you accept you're fine with how this is? Tony Romo only got 2 wins. Now you got Dak Prescott only gotten 2 wins.
And I think Dak's better than Tony Romo.
I agree. I would say Dak has more capabilities than Romo. I'm just wondering, at what point are you settling for what's happening? Like, I feel like I know Dak's a very likable guy, so it's hard. He's not someone who's like, who's super cocky. Like, he's a likable person. Yes. So I know it's harder to go against someone like that.
Yeah.
Who's like you got like if I had Aaron Rodgers on the Jets, just go sounding off, doing his thing on Pat McAfee every week, and then like he's just not performing. Okay, it's easy to kind of say give him the boot. But you got Dak, who's well respected around the league. He's liked by a lot of people, but the job just isn't getting done, and it's not all his fault. But a lot of times it falls on the quarterback. So it's a genuine question as to where's like the breaking point of trying to move on. I mean, you go 12-5, the people that are calling for a total rebuild are crazy because you don't just go from a 12-5 team to a total rebuild. You don't do that in general.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just curious. I don't think I wouldn't replace him like year one, but like at what point are they starting to see if Trey Lance behind the scenes if they can groom him in like 2 years? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know much about Trey Lance. I mean, he had his short stint. We got a comment about McCarthy being totally overrated. I mean, he won one Super Bowl with his time with Aaron Rodgers. I know we've talked on that on other shows. Another comment just dropped in about Michael Gallup being totally underrated. I mean, a bunch of comments dropping in. Obviously, we have some Cowboys fans listening, and running back wise, I mean, just to touch on all this, yeah, Michael Gallup's underrated. I think, Ben, to answer your question first, I don't think you move on from Dak. I mean, I'm just trying to think of examples like Phillip Rivers he was on the Chargers forever. They never won anything. I mean,
right, but don't you want to win? Like I don't.
Yes, but I think he can win.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of situations like there's no better option out there. There's not a better QB option out there.
Well, until they're sitting in their number 20, whatever position draft spot this upcoming April. And then all of a sudden, one of these 7 quarterbacks is sitting there. Then you have a decision. What do you do?
Yeah.
Do you take a guy and force Dak Prescott to make a decision, either elevate your game or we're going to trade you? Or do you waste that there? Or do you get a skill position guy? I mean, there's a lot to shake out.
Yeah, listen, I will tell you I would trust whoever the Cowboys draft because they've hit plenty in recent years, like some big hits. I know not all are hits, but they've had some good ones. But I'll tell you, coaching aside, because they're going to have to plug the McCarthy spot if he doesn't come back. They're going to have to figure something out. I don't know the answer for that. Here's what you do. You bring in Derrick Henry. This is how you solve all the problems. I mean, Pollard's not a number one. I don't know. They gave up on Zeke. They could have re-signed him for a 1-year deal. He had a great year in New England. He played the whole season. I think he missed maybe one game.
I wouldn't say he had a great year.
He had a good year.
He had an okay year.
As for the number 2 behind Ramondre Stevenson for most of the year. And when he was the number 1, he ripped.
About as good of a number 2 for a 5-12 team you can ask for.
I'm just saying.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of guys who have gone to the Patriots on a 1-year deal and vanished, such as Juju Smith. Like, there's a list, and I think Zeke kind of broke out of that role a little bit. I think.
Yeah.
I think enough to get himself a place next year somewhere.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe back with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
No, it was just. I'm not. It's just. He's like the opposite of Eli Manning to me. He's amazing in the regular season, and then he hasn't done anything in the postseason. Whereas Eli looks like garbage in the regular season, and they would always just sneak in barely as the last seed, and then all of a sudden he would pull something out of his hat.
I mean, last year they literally beat Tom Brady, knocked him out in his last game ever, and then they had a tough matchup against the 49ers, one of the best defenses in the league, and came down to the wire. I think they're right there.
Yeah, was that the weird play?
Yes, Ben, it was the weird play.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, when Zeke got hit by a bus.
No,
where they lined up.
When Dak ran up the middle and slid.
Slid, and they ran out of time.
The year before was when they ran the weird play where they set up with like 2 guys, right, or something.
It was just Zeke had to block, and he just got annihilated.
Yeah, that was the weird play. The last play of the game where Zeke had to block like.
Yeah, he was supposed to just be like an offensive lineman, I guess.
Yeah.
And it literally looked like someone put a box of C4 in his lap and lit the fuse.
Yeah. So no, but I mean, there's a lot to talk about for them, and they'll have to figure some stuff out. And I don't think they're gonna just move on from Dak. It's worth, it's you don't, and to anyone who says to rebuild, that you don't do that after that type of year either. So
I mean, we'll see. Draft a running back in the 4th, 5th, 6th type of round. That would be a great move. And also comment from Lindsay saying Dak didn't give up 48 points. I mean, she makes a good point. He did throw a pick 6, and there was another pick, I think, deep in their own territory. So essentially 10 to 14 points you could put on him and the offense, but the defense was absolute garbage that game. So let's move on. That was a lot of time. Hopefully anyone listening didn't drop just because they hate the Cowboys that much.
No. But yeah, well, let's talk about some other games. So we'll quickly just Chiefs did their thing. I don't think I'm surprised that the Chiefs, turned it up a little bit in the playoffs and the Dolphins didn't. That's kind of what we all expected, especially in the weather it was. So we don't need to touch on that too much. NFL gets their game that they wanted. Chiefs, Bills, round 3.
Yeah. And in Tom Brady fashion, Mahomes always has home games in the playoffs. This will be the first time ever, believe it or not, he'll be on the road.
Good.
Not counting neutral sites in Super Bowls. So they have to go to Buffalo. Obviously, the cold doesn't affect them that much.
Might be some more snow, though. We're getting some Friday. I think they are, too.
Yep.
So
I'm just super pumped that he finally has to go on the road.
Yeah. Josh Allen has to slide. He has to learn how to slide.
Ben, he's not gonna.
Dude's going to get just destroyed at some point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Also, I want to definitely touch on the Texans-Browns game because the Browns were favored going into that game. I think we touched on it at the end of the show last week, right?
Yeah.
The Browns were favored on the road against the Texans, and the Texans just absolutely unpants them and spanked them. I mean, it was embarrassing. I like Joe Flacco, but I said if we had to face him, we would pretty much do the same exact thing. So I think it was a matter of time before somebody did it to him. And the Browns are hurt. They have a lot of, if they had Nick Chubb, if they had Deshaun Watson, I guess. I don't really want to hype that up. But if they had Nick Chubb, they would definitely be in a better position now.
Yeah.
I mean, their defense is really good.
They said they were the first team ever, I think, to make the playoffs without your starting right tackle, left tackle, QB1, and RB1. So
yeah. And they lost their backup right tackle, too. So they lost a lot of depth, all across their offensive line. So obviously, I'm bringing up the Texans for a specific reason. They make a road trip this weekend to Baltimore to face the Ravens. So a rematch of Week 1, I believe, this year. So if you go back and play that tape, I was a little bit cautious of the Texans then. Obviously, now I'm concerned because it's a very good team. C.J. Stroud is an archer back there. There's really nothing he's afraid of. He can stand into the pocket, whip it, make some unbelievable throws, nice arm angles, a lot of the stuff you saw at Ohio State. But the Ravens have an excellent record against rookie quarterbacks, and I don't know what their record is against rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs, and I have to imagine it's pretty good. So, overall, I think that the Ravens should be okay. As long as we don't go into this game, overlooking them. But I think that they realize that the Texans are a pretty dangerous team. We have a lot of good film on them because we already played them this year. So, just a little nugget right there.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And I think, and a comment here just about Jason Kelce. We'll talk about the Eagles now. So Jason Kelce retiring. Julia asked if Jason Kelce's retirement is going to impact Travis in any way this week. That's a good point. I don't know if I don't think it will impact him, but who knows if that has an adverse effect on his psyche. But yeah, Jason Kelce retiring for the Eagles. After obviously a Hall of Fame career, probably one of the best centers to do it. Just a likable dude. You guys met him, so that's also pretty cool. But yeah, congrats to Jason, and it's unfortunate for the Eagles, but yeah, we can talk about the Bucs too, and Baker just kind of making everyone forget that Brady was a quarterback last year.
Baker, first off, Baker is proving why everyone said it was all Brady, not Belichick, because Brady went to the Bucs and obviously won the Super Bowl, and Belichick kind of crumbled in New England. But Baker is proving that this Bucks team is legit. I mean, they still have the same running back, their top 2 wide receivers. Vita Vea is in the middle, clogging things up, stuffed a tush push
twice.
Yeah.
This year. Twice he's done that.
Yeah. And I mean, they're talk about linebackers, Chase. Shaq Barrett and David are nice, and they've been there throughout it. And it's just, I mean, Bakes was throwing some great balls, and it's just, I don't know. Brady went there and won a Super Bowl. Of course he had to, but it was a really good team. And obviously Brady picked the Bucks for a reason, and now Bakes is having success too. But for the Eagles, being I still root for them, I honestly didn't feel that bad because I spent 24 hours just getting trashed on for every Eagles fan making fun of the Cowboys for getting blown out. And then literally you go down to Tampa Bay and you look like absolute poop. Like, you're proving Nick Sirianni's probably not the guy, and how much they heavily relied on A.J. Brown too throughout the season. Without him, like, they just completely fell apart.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got a comment from someone on Instagram asking if the Packers are still sneaking in. This is someone who commented on one of our reels, so we appreciate you watching. No, they're a legitimate team now, and they're gonna, we'll see what happens next week. I still think they kind of just got lucky in what happened with the game.
I don't believe,
but they did
Packers.
just sneak in because they were a 7th seed. So yeah, they did sneak in.
3 years ago, they wouldn't have made the playoffs.
Yeah. So
because there was no 7th seed.
I mean, they outperformed expectations. That just happens in the playoffs, but they still snuck in. So we appreciate the comment and the watch as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thanks for reaching out, and sorry that I don't believe in the Packers still.
Yeah. Yeah, the Packers are winning because none of the Packers fans want them to win. So this is what you get, Packers land.
Yeah.
But, and then I think last week, the only game we didn't really touch on, Rams-Lions, really only the close game in the wild card, 24-23. You got the storyline there, Goff and Stafford. The biggest thing for me, first of all, Lions get their first home game in 31 years, I think.
Yeah.
And now they get a second home game. So that's pretty cool for them. I didn't like them. I know it's a home game. I know it's the first game in 31 years. I didn't like them booing Stafford because yes, it's the first home game. I get all that, but Stafford, like, that dude gave everything he had for those Lions team. I mean, he was like,
and he was traded.
Yeah, and he was one of the toughest dudes as they come. Like, I mean, he was trying to play through every injury he could. So I didn't particularly like that, but anyway, I'm sure there was a lot of emotions there just to get a home game. I mean, 31 years is a long time.
I saw there was like a 66-year season ticket holder. They were showing Eminem was in the stands. Like, Detroit is it's definitely a win. Detroit doesn't have a lot of success in sports, and we all know about the Pistons right now. So I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you guys watched any of the game, but the hit when Stafford got literally hit by two different defensive linemen and then stepped on by a third. They didn't throw a flag, and then I'm like,
I feel like Stafford never gets calls.
He was getting destroyed out there. Like, Hutchinson and them were all just teeing off.
Yeah, it was intense.
Deserving for the Lions, and I mean, low-key rooting for them now. It'd be cool to see them win another game, but
yeah. I just want to touch back on Baker Mayfield real quick, because I feel like this is the first time he's really actually playing like the Baker Mayfield that was at Oklahoma. That type player. And not for nothing, both times when he was at Texas Tech, he lost his job. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes was coming in. And he walked on at Texas Tech, transferred to Oklahoma as a preferred walk-on, had to win the job. So twice he went to two big-time programs and won the job. Not for nothing. I feel like that's pretty impressive. There's not that many guys that have that kind of grit now to do that. They transfer now expecting that they get the job, and Baker did it without it. And obviously we know he was the number one pick and went to Cleveland, and they obviously did Cleveland things there and didn't help anyone and in their situation. So it's nice to see that he's actually getting the praise that he deserves and making, just playing to the player that you thought he could be, being a top pick in the draft and not just kind of like a cast-off guy.
Yeah. And to that point with the Bucks too, I'm glad for Todd Bowles. I like Bowles. I liked him as a Jets coach. He didn't really have a great Jets team when he was there. I don't think that was anything, of his doing. Just kind of not the right time. So I'm happy that he got another opportunity and he's doing a great job with that team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mike Evans too. We got to touch on this. He's the first guy ever NFL career, 10 years, 1,000 yards every single year. Like that's outrageous. What kind of production?
Yeah.
No one does that.
No. Unreal.
And I know, like, I think about him and I feel like he's missed time, but like I didn't realize it's actually 10 years straight, 1,000 yards every single time.
Yeah.
That's so impressive. Yeah.
QBs have come and gone through there.
Yeah.
He had Brady for 3 of them, but there's 7 of them where he didn't.
And he had Jameis Winston drunkily throwing an interception or a great pass every single time.
Yeah.
Probably Josh Freeman in there. I don't even know, but
yeah, Josh Freeman, probably Ryan Fitzpatrick too, because he was in there with Winston. But yeah, by the way, Ryan, you brought it up. Their linebackers. If you want a prototypical defense, you get 350-pound Vita Vea in the middle. Then behind them, you have Levante David, who is on a 1-year deal, probably at the end of his career. Last night was making outrageous open field tackles, caught Kenny Gainwell from behind. And then you have Devin White, who's 245 pounds.
Yep.
245 pounds, runs a 4.3 40, can catch anything and everything and hit it with fours. I mean, if I was the Cowboys, I would want one of those 2 guys in my middle of the defense. Someone that's just going to bring the wood and knock you out every single time they get their hands on you.
Yeah,
that's beef.
4th year in the league, so he's got a lot left in the tank.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
he's a good football player. Yeah. But I mean, we're kind of jumping all around here. But Baker Mayfield, Chase, I want to make a point. When he was in Cleveland, he was doing all like those progressive commercials. And I saw something last night that he's had I think it was 8 coaches so far. He hasn't been in the league that long. And I think he really got his swagger back when he went to the Rams last year. And Sean McVay, who I think Sean McVay's, I don't really like him as a guy, but I think he's a good coach. And when Bakes was playing there and they were a bad team and they won a game or 2 and he's headbutting guys without his helmet on and he's just going nuts. And then he gets his starting job, all the confidence in the world. And to Ben's point, Todd Bowles is a good coach, and I think he found a home. I think the Bucks. I mean, that Bucks Lions game, that's gonna be a good game. I'm really excited to watch that game.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of redemption for both teams. I mean, on both sides, and both quarterbacks literally just trying to remake their image.
Yeah. All right. Well, and I hope you guys appreciated that. I talked a lot of NFL there, so we'll move on quick. Couple Philly sports. I don't know if you wanted to touch on the Sixers. Sixers kind of where they're at quick, and then we'll wrap it up here with some 2 more quick segments before we get into our immaculate grid, so we don't keep everyone too long as well.
Yeah. Just a real quick update because obviously Embiid's missed a lot of games for the 76ers. We're big Sixers fans here, minus this Nick guy. Chase, you and I have been riding him since day one, and Embiid came back for the MLK 1 p.m. matinee game, dropped a clean 41-10 after missing. He basically been in and out of the lineup a good part of the last month. Came back in, got I think it's his 16th or 17th straight 30-plus point, 10 rebound game, absolutely dominating. And he's missed a bunch of games, but I just want to point out, I know the East isn't that strong this year. The Sixers are 25-13. They're still 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. The 3rd place, and a lot of these games this past month, they haven't had Embiid. So you're thinking Maxey and Tobias Harris, you're 1 and 2. Anthony Melton's been in and out of the lineup. Robert Covington's been in and out of the lineup. More injuries than just the Oubre from early in the season than the Embiid now. They've been a lot of adversity. Just shows how great of a coach Nick Nurse has been playing. Talk about it. Don't want him to do anything crazy. I know we're going to start getting closer to the trade deadline for the NBA, so we'll see what happens. But the Sixers have been hanging in there, and the only honestly thing that I want them to do, and they didn't do it last year, and it was because they had Harden too, I know, but Tobias Harris needs to be getting 10 to 15 shots a game, at least 10 shots. When I look at a box score, they beat the Rockets yesterday, but he's 3 for 7 from the field. Why is he getting 7 shots when he just dropped back-to-back 30-point games a couple weeks ago? I know he's the third scorer out there in the starting lineup where Embiid and Maxey pick and roll all day long. But he needs to get 10 to 15 shots, especially if they don't make any crazy moves, get him more shots. The only other comment I really wanted to make in the NBA, because I know Embiid's missed a lot of games, and a couple years ago, NBA is trying to make it more exciting, so they start the play-in tournament to get into the playoffs. This year, they have the NBA in-season tournament, which is even dumber. And also, they also came up with this 65-game rule where you have to play in 65 games, at least 20 minutes in 65 games to be eligible for in-season tournaments. First of all, it's the dumbest thing ever. If you play 64 games and you're the MVP of the league, you should be MVP of the league. Like, I get they don't want players to rest, but injuries happen. It's a long 82-game season. It's a toll on these guys, especially the big guys. Every big guy's injury prone in the NBA. I don't care what anyone says. And it's just a really dumb rule. I know Embiid doesn't care about it. I frankly don't care about it because at this point I just want him to win. But it's a stupid rule on top of the in-season tournament that they added both this year. But overall, happy with the Sixers, and that's just kind of my insight on that.
Yeah, I agree with all those points. Hopefully, with the guys being out, they build good rotations and guys just get familiar. And if there is an injury, you're used to playing down a guy or down a position. So it doesn't seem great, but hopefully this does mean a bigger impact for the playoffs. But yeah, I agree with everything you said there.
Sounds good. Yeah, I won't really touch on the Knicks. Brunson's been out, so they've been struggling a little bit, but no surprise there. So do you guys want to touch on the Flyers at all, how they've been playing? Kind of roll around with a different
Yeah, well, I mean, since we dumped that quitter Gauthier, it seems it's really galvanized the locker room and, just added fuel to this team. And they're obviously showing they don't want to fold up and just play for the number 1 pick. They want to be competitive, and you wouldn't expect anything less from a John Tortorella team. And playing really well of late, a lot of impressive wins and doing it, especially in games that have gone to overtime. They've been able to squeak those out and get those points, and those are meaningful points at this point in the season. And, a lot of the younger players are really showing up and scoring threats, and the team has been staying relatively healthy. And the addition of Jamie Drysdale, I think, is just going to have an imprint all year. As long as he can stay healthy. I mean, he's a right shot defenseman. I brought it up last week. You don't really find a lot of those guys who can do what he does and skate the way he does. I mean, he skates like an elite forward, and he's a defenseman. So the way he can shift, move the puck, and set guys up for better positions on power plays. Legitimately, the Flyers, their power play has sucked for like 20 years. They've had moments. Claude Giroux was a little bit better, and even back to the Richards and Carter days, it was a little more solid. But up till this point, I haven't really been confident in the team, and especially going into a shootout, I had no faith in the Flyers. If I had to put money on the Flyers every single time for a shootout the last 15 years, I would bet against them so hard it's not even funny. And you probably make a lot of money doing that, and there would be times where the Flyers would win. But overall, I feel like statistically, they were dog in that respect. So annoyingly for the Flyers, I feel this in the shout out to the Packers fans. You want your team to lose, and they refuse to lose. So I feel that vibe right now with the Flyers, but it's good because in the long run, there are a lot of young guys in this team, and it's only going to mean good things for the future. So. By the way, Matvei Michkov update. He has the most points, overall average in a game than anyone ever in a Russian league. So obviously that speaks a lot. You've had some killers come out of Russia recently. We don't have to go through the list. You know who they are. But Matvei Michkov, he's the shark in Russia, and he's just lurking. So whenever he gets that green light to come over for the Flyers, it's game time.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm pumped. That's awesome. I had to hear too how well he's doing over there. So
yeah.
And just breaking news, I just saw here as we kind of end the podcast and wrap it up before we do the Immaculate Grid. UFC announcement for UFC 300. Chase, you probably haven't seen it.
Oh, no.
So UFC announcement, UFC 300 for the BMF title, Gaethje Holloway 5-round fight.
Okay. I don't hate it. I feel like that's a good fight.
Yeah, I saw a
Well,
breaking news.
I feel a little unexpected. I feel like I haven't can't say I've been picturing Holloway and Gaethje as a matchup in the last few months, but
Yeah, I mean it's
yeah.
good.
I mean, how do you feel about it?
I mean, it's guaranteed to be a good fight. They're just gonna stand up and. It feels like it's been a while since Holloway's been in the cage. I don't know the last time he's actually been in there, so I'm excited to see him fight again.
Yeah.
Maybe it hasn't been. It just feels like it has been.
What did they say? What weight this is at? Is this middleweight fight
That is a
or
good.
lightweight? If it's at lightweight, I definitely have a little cause for concern. I know Holloway has been a 145 mainstay, and anytime he's gone up,
lightweight.
it's a lightweight. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like last time, I don't know if this is accurate, but I feel like last time he went up and fought Poirier, he got the brakes beaten off of him by Poirier.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the weight's a big difference, and Gaethje's a little bit different. Obviously, he's more violence than anything. So
Yeah. But
yeah, it's
yeah,
gonna be a striker. It's gonna be a boxing match for sure.
just want to end on that I kind of saw that as we're going here, and we'll talk more about some of those big UFC cards as we get into the new year. The first smaller one happened this past year, but so yeah, I think we'll kind of wrap that one up. So we appreciate everyone for watching, listening, and stick around because we're about to do the Immaculate Grid. So
yes, this is easily the moment you've all been waiting for
sure.
And some comments dropped in about being hyped for the Holloway Gaethje fight in UFC 300. So I'm excited. I have to watch that card. I haven't sat down and watched the UFC card in.
Well, that'll be 300. And there's rumors. I don't know if you've seen Chase, but there's rumors about Khabib, and I don't believe it.
No, I don't believe that either.
There's rumors happening.
No. Also, Bellator and PFL, they're doing their merger. They announced their card, and it's a pretty loaded, obviously, champ for champ matchups all the way through. So, you know, everyone, and a returning favorite, a favorite of the AFR show, no other than Yoel Romero will be making his return back into the cage. Obviously, if you like to see a freak specimen of a person, probably genetically modified human, you know, Yoel Romero is where it's at.
For sure, definitely in the lab.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. You guys ready for the Immaculate Grid?
Yeah, I'm excited to do this with everyone listening too.
Right, let's do it.
We should not get 9 for 9.
Does everyone see it? No.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Oh, wait, no, it didn't load.
Nope, you're good. I'm already on it.
All right.
We are going to share the screen, and can everyone see it now?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. We're in.
Oh, boy.
Give people a few just to digest it before.
Digest this for a second.
You and Chase just. Although we haven't gotten 9 for 9 MLB in a minute.
No.
So,
all right, we should be able to do this. There's 2 stat categories. And the White Sox
are a tough one category. I have one for White Sox, Red Sox.
All right, Ben, you better just unload with relievers on this one.
No, it's actually Mike Cameron.
Okay. I like it.
Mike Cameron. I like that.
White Sox, Houston.
I'd love to say like Octavio Dotel, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Jose Abreu.
Oh, perfect.
Let's go. Ding, ding, ding.
All right, I'm monitoring the chat this time so we don't miss anything. Ben, chat just in case. Because last time we didn't go 9 for 9 because of this.
Yeah. White Sox, Tigers.
Oh, I just thought of another one for the Red Sox, but that doesn't help us.
Oh, how about is Omar Infante a White Sox and Tiger?
Oh, I think so.
Oh, please don't let me down.
Oh, our first miss. That's okay.
Sorry, everyone.
No, that's okay. I thought it was a good one. Let's go to 100 runs. I mean, like Ty Cobb's had to have 100 runs, right?
Sure. Let's do it.
I have 100 runs in a year. RBIs, I mean, Miggy's an easy one. Just go Miggy.
All right.
6%.
Houston,
100 RBI.
Bagwell, probably. Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah. Well, the bag man.
Oh.
Runs. What are we thinking with runs? I mean, like Lance Berkman.
Yeah. What about like did Kyle Tucker get 100 runs? Or did Altuve get 100 runs?
Oh, Altuve is probably a good one.
Yeah.
Let's go Altuve. Yeah. All right. Red Sox, you can pick a bunch for these.
Yep.
100 RBI season.
Does the Tigers and White Sox, is that James McCann? Or he wasn't on the White Sox? Or was that Alex Avila?
Oh yeah.
Was he on the White Sox too?
Yeah, right? Yeah, that sounds right. And if it's not,
Good
there we
hit.
go. Yeah. All right, 100 RBI season for the Red Sox. Let's say.
Oh, we have Manny Ramirez just dropped in as a comment.
That's back to
I
work.
say we plug it.
Yep. All right, that'll be it for
shout out to Kendra.
Yeah. So what was Pedroia?
Maglio Ordonez. Oh.
That was a good one though. 8 for 9. Some good
8 for 9. Still didn't get 9 for 9.
9 for 9. Should we go to let's try the basketball. Let's try basketball.
Right,
Oh yeah, I'm so in. We could
get it out of the way.
I feel like
no Spurs, so that's a win.
No Spurs is always a win. I was watching some NBA the other night, and I was like, I got to remember these players and see who's played where.
What about Clint Capella for Rockets?
Well, yeah, I thought about that, but it was 10 rebounds per game too.
Well,
yeah, right?
Just in case. Yeah.
Or Olajuwon.
Oh yeah. All right, let's do it.
No, that was a good point, Chase. You want to go
just in case, yeah.
I got a little nervous there. I've never watched him play live, so I don't. Just assuming that's like
Hawks, Lakers. Didn't they make a deal like last 2 years?
Circle back to the Rockets, Raptors. Freddie Van Fleet, aka.
Oh yeah.
V. You had it.
It was there.
Yeah, Van. Just go, Fred. Just say
Fred. What were you trying to say?
And then VAN.
Why is it not
Van
coming?
Vliet? Van Vliet.
All right, we got a comment dropped in. Kareem for the Lakers rebounds. I like it.
Oh yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
for sure.
Most recently seen on the show Dave.
Oh really?
Yeah, he breaks his leg though.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. All right, here we go. Come on.
All right, Hawks, Lakers.
Oh, there's plenty. There's so many. I'm not even gonna name one. There's so many.
Did Lou Williams play for the Lakers at all?
The Clippers.
Oh, the Clippers. Yeah, never mind.
And the Raptors.
I feel like the Hawks and Lakers just made a trade like in the last 2 years.
I like J.R. Smith.
Well, they did.
I thought they, yeah. Who did they deal?
Another one. Bulls 10 plus rebounds. The Worm.
Oh yeah.
I realize he played till 2000. I guess makes sense. Oh, now it gets tough.
Yeah, this is tough now.
And now it gets really tough.
I'm gonna start throwing out.
I feel like Bulls, Hawks, low-key could be like Joakim Noah.
Yeah, true.
I feel like that could be hit. You want me to go for it?
I feel like I'm kind of choking right now. Oh, and there it was. There it was. Oh my gosh.
Who else?
Raptors, Lakers.
Trying to think of some.
Serge Ibaka never played on the Lakers, right?
No, I don't think so.
That's a good name though.
Oh, we just
did he play in the Bulls?
He might have.
Bulls, Raptors. Serge Ibaka.
Oh yeah, we're just.
Oh, yeah,
we're just looking like terrible NBA fans right now. Why do we always choke on the NBA?
I don't know. Lakers.
Why do they give us garbage teams? Who cares about Toronto? They won 1 year. No one cares.
There's you just know there's names like an obvious name. We're just gonna like. What about Austin Rivers? Is he ever?
Yeah, he's easily played for the Lakers, didn't he? And the Bulls and the Raptors. Easily, he's played for all three. He's played for all four of these teams.
This is a mess. Just get through this. I honestly just go.
No, we already used it.
Yes.
Did Cam Reddish? Where is he at? What is?
Yeah, that's a good one, Chase. He's on. Yeah, Good hit.
Good hit,
There we
Chase.
go.
And then
Scroll down. Let's see who we missed.
Marcus Saul. DeMar DeRozan's a bad one.
Oh, that's a
pretty bad.
miss.
That's pretty bad.
That's the worst.
That's pretty bad. It might be real bad.
That's bad.
All right, in basketball, sometimes we leave some on the table. So what?
I don't remember Kyle Korver ever being on the Bulls.
Gasol, okay. DeRozan's bad.
DeRozan's bad. I'm only actually mad at him.
Should we even try?
No, please don't
No.
play basketball. Please don't.
All right, we'll do football first.
Okay.
Oh, Eagles. Oh, all right. All right, where do you want to start? Number 1, Eagles, Tampa, Bo Allen.
Chase up the early Bulls.
Oh, we're cleaning out this BEAU.
Oh, BAU.
Yeah, BEAU.
Oh my gosh, you went with Allen, Ben. You got to go back and put.
He's right there, Bo Allen. All right.
Nice.
Oh, here we go. Eagles, Jaguars, a bachelor favorite, Clay Harbor.
Oh, Chase!
Let's go. Oh, 0.7.
I remember that guy from reality TV.
All right, here we go. Eagles Super Bowl champ, LeGarrette smoked the blunt.
Well, this is gonna be the Chase one.
Bang!
This is rarity score right now. It's ridiculous.
I love it.
All right. Oh, look at Bo Allen's picture. He looks like a pro wrestler.
No,
Looks like it was a part of the Dudley brothers.
I was laughing at it. Is one of the guy with the one arm, wasn't he on the Jaguars?
Oh yeah. Oh wait, both of them. Oh, actually, Shaq Griffin played on both. The corner.
He played on the Jaguars and Seahawks.
Yeah, they both. I think they both did, but Shaq definitely did.
I go Shaq Griffin.
Oh, it's like being a butt.
Oh my gosh.
How do you spell? Shaq didn't come up. So
is it Shaquille Griffin? Oh, it's right there.
This Shaquem or Shaquille?
Shaquille Griffin.
Okay. Oh, that.
Yeah.
Wow, that is.
I did not.
There must have been a lot of Jags.
I did not think that was going to be that high.
Oh, Seahawks, Tampa, Michael Bennett.
Oh my gosh, this is it. This is the perfect. We got all the hard ones.
It's jinxed.
No, Michael Bennett was on both.
No, because.
It's the 09 to 19.
It's the real Michael Bennett.
All right, Seahawks Super Bowl champ.
Marshawn.
I'm in for Marshawn. Or no, do you want to do like Cam Chancellor?
Yeah.
Cam Chancellor. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cam Chancellor.
Oh yeah,
5,000.
What a beast.
What
about a tank?
What about Maurice Jones-Drew for the Jazz? He had to have 5,000, right?
Yeah, I would say so, right?
We got to name all students.
Oh, my all-star for the Bucks. Okay, we'll do that one.
Okay, I like it.
Oh yeah.
I'm struggling with these names. Why are these not coming up?
That's a little sketchy.
That wasn't Mike Allstott. Nice.
Good hit.
So we just need to.
Let's end on a Cowboy.
Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
And then call it. Boom.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Good job, Chase.
Wow.
Good hit.
Shout out to everyone. Oh, of course, Jason Kelsey.
Oh, Nick Foles.
Oh,
And Julio. All right. Well, we might as well just do the women's basketball before we leave.
Oh my gosh, Ben!
We might as well check it out.
Might as well check it
out.
Might as well just check it out.
2,000 rebounds. How did?
All right, Tamika Catchings for sure. Wow, 95%.
Oh, Tina Charles has to be somewhere in the middle column, right?
I don't know. Liz Cambridge is probably like over here.
And I really don't want you to waste everyone's time here with the women's.
All right, Ryan doesn't want me to waste everyone's time.
Ben, we spend 5 minutes on it and get like 4.
Can we just take a peek at the hockey real quick? Let's just see what the teams were.
Oh,
it's a full grid, by the way.
That's tough.
I don't think I can jump in on this one.
Oh, we got a wins the duck race comment. Should we end up with duck race?
Yeah.
I don't really have. Okay, we can end on a quick duck race. All right, let's just.
All right, hold on. Winner gets to pick. Winner gets to pick like a 3-minute segment we talk about next week.
Okay. All right, so we have to. If you're in here, comment. Or if you have been in here, we'll put your name in. That we saw you guys in here. as well. And I'll just quickly.
I think Harry is watching and Wendy.
Okay. And I think we had someone else.
Oh yeah,
there.
yeah, Jill.
Okay.
Who else?
This guy Sam commented.
Oh, put him in.
Jimmy joined at one point, so we'll put Jimmy in.
Oh my gosh.
So I think that's all we had that I saw. I'm sure there was some more people that were just watching, maybe didn't comment, that I couldn't really tell that they joined. On Instagram, you can tell when someone joins. On YouTube, you can't see when someone's just watching. So, we do have Gordon though, who also just entered the Instagram chat. So we'll put Gordon in there for the duck race.
All right.
So
you can't check on YouTube who's watching.
Nope,
you
cannot see specific people unless they comment.
So just so everyone knows, the winner of this duck race gets to choose a segment for us to talk about next week, and we are going live again next week.
We are going live. Yep. And then we're gonna probably take a week off of being live, and then we're gonna have an in-person episode special live for episode 50, right? Because it's 47.
Yeah. Yep. This is 47.
So we'll do 48 live, 49 not live, and then 50 will be live all in person. So, all right, let's get this going here. We got
wait, can you go back to the names?
Sure.
Put in like 2-minute cricket segment as one of the ducks.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
if that wins, we have to talk about cricket for 2 minutes. It's gonna win.
Names. What do we want to set it at? Like,
make it a quick one.
Let's do like 20. We'll do 22 seconds.
That is quick. No, 42.
Okay, you said
42.
Quick.
Yeah, not that quick.
All right. Let's get these ducks. Let's do one random. Do one random.
One shuffle.
One shuffle. Is everyone ready? We're gonna get this. All right, we got some action going on here. We are not in the duck race, so Gordon, you picked an interesting duck. That's for sure.
Gordon's duck. Yo, Julia's duck looks like it's a Batman.
I see you comment to 25 seconds, but we already went for 2.
We apologize, Gordon. We missed the 25. You should be happy we gave you 25 seconds.
Lindsay's starting to take a quick lead here. We'll see if anyone comes from. Oh, we got the 2-minute cricket segment that's coming.
Oh no!
Come on, somebody else, stay up.
Sam is surging.
Oh, Sam, Instagram.
We will. We'll message you on Instagram. So we'll message you. Let's see here. There's the results in case anyone's interested. Okay. But we appreciate everyone for watching, for listening. And Sam, we will message you on Instagram and just kind of see what you want us to talk about for 2 minutes.
We know there's about a 5 to 10 second delay or so we'll give a couple extra seconds if anyone else has anything they want to add before we hop off for the night. But we just really appreciate everyone listening. And
sorry, Gordon. I know your duck was kind of slow. We got to get the turbos on that thing next time.
Gordon, you needed like a 5-minute race for your duck.
Yeah, for sure. But we appreciate everyone for tuning in. It's fun for us to go live, fun for us to do this while you guys are watching it. So we appreciate everyone, and we'll be back live next week.
76ers Nuggets on right now. Watch it.
It's not on because Ryan couldn't focus if I had it on.
Yeah. It'll be on in 30 seconds.
30 seconds. All right. See you guys.
Take care.